Welcome back to the front lines, boys. You're tuned in to the Manila Strategy, and I'm your favorite Filipina insider, the only one brave enough to strip away the fantasies. Listen close, because dating in the Philippines isn't some tropical fairy tale. It's a high stakes poker game played in a dark room where the house always wins unless you know the deck is stacked. You've been warned. Pay attention right now or prepare to lose your shirt, your dignity, and your entire life savings to a single smile. I see you coming off that plane at NAIA, 60 years old, fresh off a brutal divorce, and carrying a suitcase full of hope and US dollars. You think your gray hair is a liability, and those local kids with six pack abs are your competition, right? Wrong. That insecurity is exactly what turns a grown man into a walking ATM for a girl who's still texting her cousin back in the province. Your time is running out, your heart is fragile, and every mistake here carries a massive, irreversible price tag. I've seen this movie 1,000 times from the inside, watching men like you get played like a cheap guitar in a Quezon City bar. I'm not some academic talking about cultural exchange. I'm a veteran of this battlefield who knows exactly how the traps are set. Every I love you could be a tactical maneuver, and every tampo is a test of your supply lines. If you don't treat this like a military operation, you're just another clueless tourist waiting to get fleeced by a pro. The biggest lie you believe is that her young Pinoy boyfriend is the alpha because he's vibrant and fast. That's pure sayang, a total waste of your mental energy. While you're obsessing over his flat stomach, he's losing the game because he has no infrastructure, no emotional stability, and zero plan for tomorrow. He's a chaotic summer storm, but you have the potential to be the bedrock, the institutional capital she actually craves for survival. But only if you stop acting like a desperate child. Today, I'm handing you the ultimate war manual, a 5 rule blueprint designed to flip the script and put the power back in your hands. We aren't talking about dating tips, we are talking about logistics, narrative authority, and surgical resource allocation. I'm going to show you how to dismantle her games and make her see you as the ultimate prize, not just a temporary paycheck. You need to harden your frame immediately because the sharks are circling and they can smell your Western guilt. Stop looking in the mirror for wrinkles and start looking at your bank statement and your ability to remain calm under pressure. Every decision you make from this moment forward is an all in bet on your future happiness or your total destruction. I've seen the foreigner's graveyard of broken bank accounts and shattered egos, and I won't let you join them without a fight. The first rule is about to change everything you know about attraction. Tell me honestly, right now, do you want love, sex, or survival? Look at you, wandering into the Makati nightlife like it's a friendly neighborhood barbecue. This is an urban war zone, honey, and your flank is wide open. You aren't just competing with local boys, you're fighting other desperate expats who inflate the market prices with their pathetic need for validation. I saw a guy last week in Angeles City, sweating through his linen shirt, buying rounds for a whole barangay just to get a smile. He was ambushed by his own loneliness, and the girls smelled the desperation. Stop being easy prey. Rule 1 is about becoming a logistics commander, not a walking ATM. Most of you treat her like a charity case, sending Gcash for every sick Lola or dead pig in the province. That's a total sayang of your resources. I knew a guy from Seattle who spent $5,000 on emergencies in 6 months, yet she was still sleeping on a floor. A real commander builds infrastructure. He secures the lease and controls the supply lines. If you don't own the roof, you're just a transient customer waiting for the eviction notice. Next, you need a titanium frame because the tampo traps are coming for your jugular. In the Philippines, drama is a sport, and the local kids are Olympic athletes at being volatile and jealous. When she starts her silent treatment, or cries about some perceived slight, most of you crumble like a wet paper towel. You start apologizing for things you didn't even do. You look pathetic. A man with a frame is a port in a summer storm. If you react, she loses biological respect. Stay cold, stay silent, stay dominant. Your third weapon is narrative authority, something no tricycle driver can ever touch. While her local ex boyfriend is talking about the neighborhood cockfight or some TikTok trend, you should be talking about the globe. You've lived, you've traveled, you've conquered markets. Use your story to mentor her, to expand her world until her old life feels like a tiny, suffocating box. I watched a smart Brit turn a bar girl into a business partner just by sharing his vision. Without intellectual authority, you are just a temporary paycheck with a very short expiration date. You're starting to see the map now, aren't you? These aren't just mistakes, they are tactical failures that leave you bleeding out in a Malate alleyway. Most of you fail here because you're addicted to the white knight fantasy, thinking your bank account compensates for your lack of backbone. But don't get comfortable just yet, because we've only diagnosed the surface wounds. These first three rules are just the basic survival kit for the easy level. The next error I'm going to reveal is the one that destroys your entire wallet and reputation. You're starving for a mahal kita from a 20-year-old, and that's your fatal flaw. When you chase her validation, you're basically handing her the keys to your vault and your sanity. She sees that look in your eyes, that desperate need to feel young again, and she starts calculating your price tag. It's a total scion of your dignity. You think you're buying her heart, but you're just renting a performance. Stop being a thirsty dog at a dry well. It makes you look weak and cheap. Rule 4 is the discipline of selective provisioning, and it's where most of you bleed out. You treat your bank account like a fire hose, spraying cash at every sob story about a broken roof or a sick cousin. Stop it. A Wall Street investor doesn't dump capital into a failing firm, and neither should you. You need to be surgical with your resources. Cut one non-essential financial benefit today, maybe that extra allowance for her sister's school, and watch her reaction carefully. Is she an ally or just another greedy parasite? She knows exactly how to weaponize your jealousy, whispering about her local ex just to see you squirm and reach for your wallet. It's a classic psychological ambush designed to keep you in a state of constant, expensive competition. When she brings up his name or spends too much time on her phone, she's testing your threshold for pain. If you react with anger, you've already lost the battle. Stay cold, stay indifferent. Let the chismes slide off you like rain on a tin roof in Makati. Your fifth weapon is the social protection shield. You aren't just a man, you're an institutional exit from the poverty bubble. While the local kid offers her a ride on a rusty tricycle, you offer her the entire world. Make it clear that access to your reality is a privilege, not a right. She needs to feel that if she breaks your rules, the gates to your kingdom slam shut forever. If she doesn't see you as her ultimate security, she'll just treat this like a part-time job. You have to decide right now. Are you the captain of a transatlantic ship or just a passenger in a Manila taxi? The taxi driver takes you wherever he wants, running up the meter while you sit helplessly in the back. But the captain owns the route, the cargo, and the destination. If you don't take the wheel, she'll steer you straight into a financial reef. Pay attention, because the game changes completely when you finally stop negotiating with hope and start looking at the cold, hard reality of power. Listen, we're done with the diagnostic phase. You've been bleeding out because you didn't have a flight plan. You treat your life in Manila like a random walk in a barangay alley. But from this second on, we are on the runway. I am your air traffic controller, and your Sayang days are over. Think of your relationship like a heavy jet. You don't just feel your way into the sky. You follow a rigid binary checklist. If one light is red, you abort the takeoff immediately. The first stage of the framework is the vetting filter. Stop asking if she's pretty. That's for pogy boys with no future. Ask yourself, does she have utang na loob to her past or a commitment to your future? It's a binary switch, Joe. If she's still tambe with her old crowd or texting her pinsan every hour, the light is red. You don't negotiate with a faulty engine. You either see a clear path to total loyalty or you taxi back to the hangar and find a new bird. Now we move to the stress test phase. A plane isn't certified until it survives a storm. You need to intentionally trigger a small tampo by setting a hard boundary, maybe saying no to a shopping trip at SM. Watch her telemetry. If she pivots to manipulation or brings up her local ex, she's a structural failure. A high value woman, a real ally, will calibrate to your lead. If she can't handle a minor crosswind without crashing the cockpit, she'll never survive the long haul flight to your heart. Step 3 is the point of no return. On a runway, there's a speed where you're committed to flight. In this framework, that's when her logistics are fully integrated with yours. But here's the deal, you must always have an ejection seat ready. If she starts treating your bank account like a public utility, you pull the lever. No drama, no long chismes sessions with her mother. You cut the fuel and walk away. Power in the Philippines belongs to the man who can leave the table without looking back. You're finally standing tall, aren't you? You're starting to realize that your maturity isn't a bug, it's the most sophisticated operating system in the country. We've built the framework and cleared the runway, but now it's time for the actual heavy lifting. Grab a pen and paper right now because I'm about to drop the surgical field maneuvers that will make her forget every pogy boy she ever met. Pay attention because if you miss this next checklist, you're just another crash landed expat in the province. Write this down immediately. Imagine a ping pong table in a sweaty Manila garage. If you're lunging for every ball her barkada throws your way, you've already lost the point before it even touches your paddle. Most of you are out of position, reacting to her tears or her pogy cousin's TikToks with frantic, expensive moves. Stop the frantic dancing. To win the point, you must be the one who dictates the rhythm. When you stop chasing the ball, she has to play your game. Strategy beats frantic youth every single time, Joe. Here's the sex for tuition ambush. She's cold in bed because you said no to her brother's hospital bill. This is where most Sayang expats crumble and reach for the Gcash. But you stay titanium. You sleep like a baby while she sulks in the corner. By morning, when she realizes her tampo didn't buy a single peso, her biological respect for your dominance will skyrocket. You aren't just saving money, you're reclaiming your throne. Hold the line or prepare to be her permanent financial slave. Now comes the ex-boyfriend ghost attack. She accidentally leaves a photo of her local flame on her screen just to watch your face twitch. It's a low-rent psychological trap designed to make you feel like a dusty relic. If you ask who he is, you're dead. Instead, use your narrative authority. Talk about your next business trip to Singapore while ignoring her bait entirely. When she sees that her pogy boy is just a local mosquito compared to your global jet, the ghost vanishes forever. The holiday season is the ultimate supply line siege. Her whole barangay is leaning on her to squeeze you for the Noche Buena feast. They're using her guilt to raid your logistics. If you turn into Santa Claus, you're just another mark. Use selective provisioning. Give exactly what you planned, not a cent more, regardless of the crying. A leader provides for his allies, not for a crowd of parasites. By keeping your perimeter secure, you teach her that your resources are a reward, never a right. This is the boiling point where your strategy becomes a lifestyle. You've survived the sex strikes, the jealousy traps, and the family raids because you stopped being a pogy chaser and started being a commander. The pogy boy is out there in the rain on a tricycle while you're in the aircon, holding all the cards. But listen, the most brutal truth is still coming. Here is the final law of the jungle. In the Philippines, The man who fears losing her is the man who has already lost. Look at how far you've come, Joe. You walked off that plane as a Sayang target, a walking ATM blinded by a young smile. But now you stand as a logistics commander with a titanium frame. You finally understand that dating here isn't about chasing the pogy boy's abs. It's about owning the racetrack and dictating the terms of engagement. Your maturity isn't a flaw, it is the ultimate luxury product in a market of chaotic street vendors. You are the institutional exit she's been praying for, but only if you hold the line. Think of the relationship like the bee and the flower, honey. A desperate bee crashes into every petal, making a mess and getting nothing. But a flower with high value nectar waits for the right timing and the right behavior. You are that flower now, the source of security, global vision, and utang na loob. She doesn't get a sip of your world just because she's pretty. She gets it because she follows your lead and respects your boundaries. If the nectar is free, it's worthless. Make her earn every single drop of your attention. Don't let this manual gather dust while some barangay parasite raids your Gcash. Within the next 24 hours, I want you to execute one tactical no. Cut a non essential allowance or deny a frivolous request, and watch the telemetry. If she crumbles into drama, she was never your ally. The cost of your legacy is your willingness to walk away from anyone who treats you like a commodity. You've been warned. The sharks are still circling, but now you have the sonar and the torpedoes to blow them out of the water. If this manual saved your wallet and your pride from a total Sayang disaster, hit that like button and subscribe to the Manila Strategy right now. We are building an army of disciplined men, and we need your support. Drop a super thanks or hit the PayPal link below to keep these insider truths coming. Keep your frame titanium and your heart cold. If you don't act like the prize, you'll be treated like the trash. I'll be watching your progress from the front lines. See you in the field. Dismissed.